Morning. How you guys doing this morning? Uh, I'm a little happy. Second place still for me. Joe is still in first place, and he still hasn't scored enough points to prove he should be in first place. But hey, Joe, first place. I can't complain. I got you this week, but we'll get to that in a second. So anyway, first, a recap of last week's games. Myself and Adam played, and I gotta say, I was anticipating a loss for myself, considering I had a couple of people on a bye week that were big-time scorers for me. But needless to say, Chris Johnson has finally shown up. By the way, he's on the trade block. If anybody wants Chris Johnson, send me an offer. Or anybody, for that matter. Why not? It's getting to that time of the year. You guys need some help. So anyway, Chris Johnson, second highest running back score of the year. And Gronkowski helped save me with 17 points, 2 touchdowns, him and Tom Brady hook it up. Adam traded for Wes Welker this week. Great trade in hindsight, except Wes Welker still only scored 4 points, but at least you don't have an injured Maurice Jones-Drew sitting on your roster. Ray Rice went missing this week down in Houston. He had the worst performance of the running backs season. And Vernon Davis out in San Francisco. Was he in the game? Because he got a big old 0 for you, Adam. Houston did have the 3rd highest score for a defense for you this week, but not enough. And this was, I think, the not the prototypical based on record, but it was actually Clash of the Titans here between Adam and myself, because after this week, again, with that recap thing there, the records that we would have facing the entire league are still 1 and 2. I have overtaken him. I'm now 44 and 19, and he's 41 and 22. That's, again, if we played everybody every week. Last week, if you recall, Adam had the best record for the first time this season, but me back on top in that statistical analysis regard. Yeah, I belong on ESPN. Anyway, that's enough about me and Adam. Oh, Adam, one more thing. Nanny nanny doo doo, stick your head in poo poo. Ryan and Bracco, another clash. Apparently, and Bracco did a little research on this, Bracco has never beaten Ryan ever. Apparently. That is until today. Because Bracco wakes up this morning with a 123, and this was a nail biter, to 78. Ryan, what's your team doing? Are they on vacation with you? 78 points. Good luck. Ryan did leave Matt Schaub on his bench, even though his team was aptly named after him, who scored 24 points. His Ravens defense, and again, a reason why I hate sticking with one defense all year, -5 points for them. And Calvin Johnson, last night, only managed to get 2.27 points. I don't know if you get points for dropped catches in the end zone, because he had 2. I don't know if that's where the points came from, because I didn't see him do anything else. This is Ryan's lowest. Ryan was the lowest score of the week. Jeff and Jimmy. Hey, Jeff. Dustin Keller. What do you know? He finally got you some points after 7 weeks of having him on your roster. Everything came down to Monday night for these guys. The Bears defense. Wow, Jeff. That pretty much did it for you, even with that late touchdown. It didn't matter. And Jimmy had Vincent Jackson have the 7th highest wide receiver score of the year. Not enough, though, because Jimmy lost 94 to 87. 7-point difference. That's a real close game, but not the closest game of the week. We'll get to that shortly. Joe played Mike, my cousin Mike. Joe is the Joe had 6 out of his 10 players beat their projection. Joe did have the highest score of the week at 139. To my second and to Bracco's third. Oh, sorry. The 3rd highest score of the week was my cousin, who he beat. So he only would have lost. Let me take that back. The only team my cousin would have lost to was Joe. He would have beat me by a point this week, and he would have beat Bracco by 4. Josh Freeman, though, pickup of the week, going to Michael Mattiello with 49.9 points. Nobody scored higher than him in the entire week, not even Drew Brees, Bracco, who you've been riding on this entire season, to your 500 record, nearly 500 record, just under 500 record, Bracco. But Joe's record, if he played everybody every week, is 40 and 23, just a game behind Adam, but still 3rd place. And Mike is 36 and 27, 4th place in that regard. So if that's any indication of how strong your team is, I do believe the top 4 teams in the league are myself, Adam, Joe, and Mike. And then we come down to the closest matchup of the day, Jay versus Dana. Dana has just got some of the worst luck of the year. He has not had a large amount of points scored against him, but when people don't score points against him, he seems to just score enough to lose. He left Randall Cobb on the bench, which would have got him a lot of points. If he had Randall Cobb in for anybody on his team, he would have won. He would have beaten Jay last week, if that's any consolation, by 9. And Kyle Rudolph, who I gotta say was on my love list, was on my ride list. Kyle Rudolph scored a big old 0 points. But I also like Scott Chandler this week, and he scored 1 point. Sorry, Jimmy. But Jimmy Graham, you should have picked up his backup. He did pretty good. Matthew Barry should pick up Jimmy Graham's backup. So that's the recap for the past week. Joe is solidified in first, I'm solidified in second, and then comes everybody else. If you're 3 and 4, you're tied for the last spot in the playoffs. That goes for Mike, Ryan, and Rocco. Dana, I swear, you're not out of it at 1 and 6. Things can change in a hurry. You're only 2 games out of the playoffs. If you win 2 in a row and a couple of those guys lose, you're going to be tied for 6th place in the playoffs. We got a lot of season left. We're halfway through, fellas. Coming up in week 8. Start from the bottom. Jeff and Dana, their first matchup of the year. And that's a big one for you, Dana. If you beat Jeff, he brings him to 4 and 4, and you keep knocking people off. Jimmy and Jay will be playing. Jimmy needs a win here because he's 2 and 5. He's almost in the same boat as Dana. He's had a little bit of bad luck against his team. Then Mike plays Brocco for their first matchup of the year. They will play again later. Ryan and Adam will play, and I gotta check. I don't know if Adam's ever beat Ryan either. And then number 1 matchup of the week, Joe Martinez. I have, I think, 1 person on a bye this week that I would normally use. I'm going to click while I'm sitting here talking shit to you. And last week I had 3 people on a bye against Mr. Adam. This week I'm only missing Torrey Smith. So my team is nearly 100%. In fact, if Trent Richardson is still hurt this week, I'm okay because I have Chris Johnson going against the Colts, which is basically almost as bad as him going against the Bills. So I'm kind of okay there. I still have Gronkowski at St. Louis. I have Ryan Matthews and Alfred Morris. Peyton Manning against New Orleans. I'm seeing a 50-point week here from Peyton Manning. So you better bring it. Aaron Rodgers might have a little low week here for you. I don't know, Joe. You better check out your team. Check out your roster. You have no Stevie Johnson this week. I guess you're going to use Stephen Hill again. Deshaun Jackson. I mean, your running backs are stout, but the rest of your team. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't outscore Peyton Manning, you might get your second loss of the year. I'm confident. I'm happy. I wouldn't mind being tied for first place, and then the tiebreaker being points, which means I would be in first place. Joseph Martinez. It is week 8. It has finally come. Be ready. Because remember, if you want to beat me, you need to score like 130 or more points. And even then, it's not guaranteed. Highest point total by a lot. Pulling away from everybody else. So, good luck, my friend. You guys have a fantastic rest of your week. And I will look forward to seeing you all soon.